Hey guys, Foxdrop here with a video on 5 OP factors of the new champion Kled's kit. These are the 5 biggest factors as to why I feel like Kled is going to be seeing a lot of play not only in solo queue but also in competitive as well. Now of course it is impossible to say when something's only been on the PBE whether it's going to be ridiculously broken on its release. However, having said that, from my time spent on that lovely PBE server, I can say this champion is certainly gonna be pretty bloody strong. Unfortunately guys, I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, so you have to forgive my awful croaky hoarse voice. And again, this is another video being made in partnership with our wonderful friends over at ProGuides, who have a rather nifty service that allows you to talk in real time with amazing players to help you out to get some tips, whatever you want to ask them. I put links to them down below in the description, but without any further ado, let's get on the video. I also want to say as well that I'm not going to be running down every single one of Kled's abilities, so if you don't know what he does, I suggest go watching another video to find out. I do have a gameplay of him in the jungle. If you want to watch that, that might help you. But either way, the first thing that I think is really strong about Kled is the fact that when you dismount from your passive, you also drop tower aggro. Now this is so good because in my opinion Kled is going to be operating mostly like a tank, and if not a full tank then probably something like a bruiser tank. Either way, he's going to be pretty bloody tanky, and the tanks are very good at initiating tower dives because they can tank up the tower and not just instantly die. Kled is even stronger at doing this because he doesn't have to worry about dropping tower aggro manually. He can just go balls deep, go really ham, and then when he gets dismounted, it automatically drops the tower aggro. This just makes the whole process of tower diving so much more easier. You can't muck it up, you don't have to worry about dipping out and not dying. And because you don't have to worry about dropping tower aggro, it gives you more time to do more damage, and it also gives your allies more time to do damage as well, because they don't have to worry about picking up that tower aggro when you have to drop it early. In general, at least during the lane phase, this is the best thing about any kind of revive mechanic in the game. It's one of the reasons why Aatrox is such an amazing and really strong champion. Just, you know, there's so many things to say, but that's just like the icing on the cake, right? The fact that he can dive really easily because of his passive. Anyway, the second thing that I think is really strong about Kled is the way his gap closer works. Specifically, the fact that you don't have to use it strategically or really think about how you're using it at all. The reason why I say that is because as long as you hit someone, you'll lock onto them and then you can reactivate the gap closer to jump to them again. I mean, just in essence, a double gap closer is obviously very strong. I mean, think about it. If you can latch onto someone and just constantly jump towards them, it's very hard for them to get away from you. But more specifically, the point I want to make here is that generally speaking, with gap closers, you can either use them to initiate something or to chase something. If you lead with your gap closer, then you have to know that if the enemy does something to get away from you, you're not going to have your gap closer to be able to chase them down. Which is why, generally speaking, if you're trying to get onto someone, it's most optimal to walk up to them first, and then when they use something to get away from you, then you can blow your gap closer to hunt them down. Kled, on the other hand, doesn't have to worry about that, because if he uses his gap closer to initiate and he hits the enemy target, then well, he's still got his gap closer to chase someone down even when they get away from him. It's not just that he has like 2 jumps up, but the fact that that second jump is locked onto the enemy target. The third thing I think is really strong about Kled, and this is probably one of the strongest things, is the way his ultimate works in the sense of weaving its way through terrain and just locking onto a target once you're in range of them. Kled ultimate is somewhat similar to Sion's ulti, except that it's a point and click, so you don't have to control your own movements while you're in your ultimate, and once you land, you lock onto the person that's within your sights and knock them back. Like, just holy crap, this is a ridiculously strong initiation tool. You can just charge in on someone from miles away and there is just absolutely no stopping you. Unlike Sion ultimate, you can't be blocked by terrain, and also there's not that kind of awkward phase where you're like landing and just, you know, standing still while everyone runs away from you. Like when that Kled uses his ultimate, it is ridiculously hard to get away from him, and not only is it hard to get away from him, once he lands he's going to wreck you in the face as well. It's just crazy strong as an initiation tool, and it has some really good synergies depending who's on your team. The fourth thing I think is really OP about Kled is the way his W works. When you activate it, you pretty much get 4 instant auto attacks. It's like you walk into a cloning facility and you see Reddit's former CEO is being cloned 3 times. It's just pow 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 pow. But you guys know, right, it can't just be as simple as that. No, of course, on the 4th hit, he also does percentage health damage. Of course he does. But specifically what I want to say about this is the fact you get 4 instant auto attacks makes it have really good synergy with on-hit effects. Now I don't necessarily think you're going to be building Kled with a load of on-hit just to maximize this synergy like Witch Send Blazer and King Nash's Tooth Kled, but you don't need to have a purely on-hit build to get crazy synergy with this. Like if you've got red buff on you, that's going to be really strong. If you've got like a Nami on your team, you're going to pop all her bubbles instantly. That's going to be crazy burst damage. If you're running further for battle, you're instantly going to get loads of stacks. And if you've got something like Black Cleaver, which actually could be a really solid item on Kled, then instantly you're shredding loads of armor as well. Like I say, probably not going to go full Warwick and build loads of on-hit just for that synergy, like of course Warwick has with his ulti. But regardless, just as a feature of Kled's kit, it's really strong. Before we go on to this last point, I just want to thank you guys for watching so far. It does mean a lot to me. I don't really say it a lot, but you know, not only does it give me a job obviously, but just in my personal life, you guys do give me a lot, so thanks a lot for watching my stuff. I also want to ask you guys if you're looking forward to Kled's release. You know, is he one of these champions who you've just fallen in love with, you're instantly going to buy him and main him, or is he someone that just looks a bit weird and you're not going to bother? Let me know down below. But anyway, moving on to the last point here, and it's another point about his ultimate. Yes, his ulti is so strong, in my opinion, that I had to make 2 points about it. We talked previously about the fact you can weave your way around and point and click onto someone. This time we're talking about the move speed bonus you get from it. Not necessarily the move speed bonus that you get yourself when you're playing Kled, because the further you travel, the faster you travel, but more specifically the move speed that you give your allies when they're running behind you. Yes, not only is Kled's ultimate an amazing initiation tool, but it also speeds up your whole team if they go in with you. Like, I'm not even joking, this is probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest initiation tools for a single champion to have. But not only that, it makes everyone else on your team also become really good initiators. Like, honestly, this is pretty much the biggest reason why I think that Kled is going to be seeing so much play in both solo queue and competitive, because good initiation tools are very valuable in both those environments. In solo queue specifically, if you want to close games out and you don't want to throw, then picking good fights is really important. Like, if you're ahead in the game or you have the superior team fight comp, all you need to do is force fights onto the enemy team. But that can be kind of hard to do if you don't have good initiation, but when you're playing Kled, well, you don't have to worry about that at all. And it's kind of similar for competitive as well, right? If you've built a team comp that's based around forcing fights, then you want to have a tool in your team that can force those fights and play towards your strengths. And especially when you combine that with the fact that I think Kled works perfectly well as a very tanky choice, you've got a match made in heaven for competitive play. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, when you consider this huge move speed bonus to your whole team, and the fact that you knock someone back, you kind of see the person you land on for a while, there's just no way that you can't catch someone with this ultimate. It's really strong in my opinion, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that as you're ramping up your ulti, you get a massive shield as well. But yeah, that's what I really want to say for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give me that cheeky thumbs up down below. You can subscribe to me for more educational league content. Go check out Pro Guides in the description down below as well. Thanks to them for helping me with the editing of this video. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and catch me streaming at twitch.tv/Foxdrop. Most importantly though, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.